Hi, my name is Michaela. For my final project, I decided to do a bingo game based off of geometric shapes. For third and fourth graders, I thought it'd be great for them to be able to learn. When I was in fourth grade, we didn't really play games to learn geometric shapes. So we just kind of just learned them and then zoomed past them and went to the next subject. I think it's great to be able to focus on geometric shapes, especially when you're older and you do geometry like we are now, or when you're in high school. It's great to know these in advance and not forget them. Like I might have, because I didn't have the games that they can have now that we can teach them. So a great way that I think to teach kids or to remember them how to play is to do like a bingo version. And so what I would do for my kids is I would have them be able to, when we're learning the subject at hand at the very end, be able to, we have a list of like the shapes, whether it's cubes, spheres, cones, and the 2D shapes of like squares, circles, semicircles, ovals, all the different triangles. Have those in our classroom, have a list, be able to show the kids the list at hand and what they're expected to learn and the shapes that they need to learn, and then focus it at the end of the like chapter at hand, do a little game, or in the middle of it, or whenever they want to play this game, they can play it. So basically the game would be, they would each get their own bingo card. For the sake of this, I only made one. They would all have, in these, it says bingo on the top, and then we have 5 or 5, and in the center says the free space. So they would each get one of these cards. The only different part was when they each get them, all of the names, they'll still have the same names in them, but they will not have the same format. So they'll all have different, they wouldn't be exactly where they are now. They'd all have different spaces so that they don't each obviously get a bingo at the exact same time, because that would cause a little bit of mayhem. So they'd each get different formats of the same card, and with the same figures on it. And then we'd have a helper pass out the papers and have them pass out papers independently. Don't pull favorites. I don't want them to pull favorites. I hope they don't. I want them to hand out papers and to enjoy the game. And basically the outlook of the game is for them to be able to learn on their own without help. Seeing a figure that I show them either on paper or from a piece in our classroom, be able to see it and know what it is off the top of their head without needing help, and to be able to learn on their own what figures look like in the real world as well as on paper. And so when the game starts, they would have, their goal is to be able to take 5 of these or win one in a row, whether it's they can win 5 this way, or win Philip 1 this way, Philip 1 this way, or even 1 diagonally this way. And so the game would be, once they know, I would show them a figure either on picture, or I have 2 examples from my room. They'd have to look at them and know what they are, and then look on their paper and find it. And they would have chips. For the sake, I don't have chips, I got little lifesavers. They would have to pick these on the correct name. And so then if let's say they did get a bingo, like I was just show one right now. Say they had a bingo, they would be able to yell bingo and put their hand up, and then they'd have to show me the 5 that they had, and we have to check them to make sure those 5 that they named are the correct 5 that I showed them, and then they would get a prize at the end. And so just for like a little example of them, I would show them some, because I don't have all of them probably in the classroom, so we'd have some printed off that I would show, but they would have, like, for example, I would just a candle, but then when I showed the kids, they'd have to, like, the circular bottom and a circular top, and the surrounding outside, they'd have to know that this is a cylinder, and they have to go on their paper and look and find where cylinder is, and then put a little pin right there to keep their spot. And then I would go on to the next one once everybody has it, and they'd have to know, but this is like a little music box, but they'd have to know that this is a cuboid, because it's more of like a rectangular shape instead of a cube. This is a cuboid. So they'd have to, again, look for it, see where it's at, and place a little lifesaver or marker there, and then they keep going on. And then once they figure them all full, they'd yell bingo, And then also on these that they would need to know is they need to know the different equilateral triangle. They'll have to know what an acute triangle is, an obtuse triangle, excuse me, and a right triangle. So they'd have to know the difference between all of those because I would show pictures or examples of each of them. And I have to just at the end just learn independently on their own how to name and see shapes and be able to recognize them on a piece of paper that need help. And this is a fun way that I loved learning how to do stuff was bingo a lot, being the third or fourth grader. So I thought it'd be fun for the kids to also learn it in that same way.